Hey guys, welcome to another edition of Tuesday Testimonials. What this man's been through just proves God has had his hands all on him for a very long time. And you know, he's like me, he's a little bit seasoned, and it takes some of us longer than others to just realize that we ain't been doing it. God's been doing it. Sometimes we want to take the credit and think, you know, especially when you've been on the streets, you've been homeless, you want to do the I did this, I survived this, I survived that. And we sometimes forget it. No, we wouldn't have done none of it if God hadn't had his hand on our life. But it also lets you know God's got a plan for you, and it's never too late to accept him into your life. And you've never done enough bad that he can't fix it. And this guy right here is living proof. So, without further ado, and also this gentleman is also in mountain movers currently, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, and it's Donald.
Yes.
Guys, I don't know if y'all can see his foot or not, but he is still recovering from an incident that we're going to get into. How long you been in mountain movers, Donald?
Almost a week.
A week. Okay. And if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
I'm 57.
Same as me. Same as me. That's good stuff, man, because like I said, it takes some of us a little longer. Now, where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Memphis, Tennessee. I was born in 1962. I grew up in church. My mother and father took me to church every Sunday. We were in church every Wednesday night. And so I got up about 15, 16 years old, and I said, well, I'm not going to go to church anymore. Started running with the wrong crowd, smoking marijuana, drinking on the weekends, slipping around drinking. And then I had a bad accident in a parked car when I was 17, and I knew I had a drinking problem then.
Wow.
So I never did anything about it. I went on to college, went to UT Knoxville, graduated high school, went to UT Knoxville. The drinking increased up there.
It usually does.
Yes, the college environment and all that. So I stayed up there 2 years and eventually flunked out. And went to work at Federal Express. I worked there for 3 years. And I continually drinking and using marijuana. And then finally ended up quitting that job and moving to South Florida. I started painting then, high-rise buildings. My drinking steadily increasing.
I've never met a painter that didn't drink. Right. Well, yeah, I did one. He goes to church here.
Exactly. Right. So, and unexpectedly, I went back home, and the girl I was dating at the time, well, I moved back to Florida, and I just stayed with her a couple of months. Well, she called me 6 months later, said she was pregnant. So I got a son that was born in 1988.
Okay.
So I moved back to Memphis, and kept painting and kept drinking. And then eventually, that's back when the drugs were going around and all that. And I got involved in that, and this life spiraled downhill, So eventually, I moved up here in 2017 to get away from all the trouble and stuff in Memphis.
There wasn't no better here.
All right. I came up here, I got robbed 3 times in less than a year. And then on my birthday, August 15th, 2018, 2 guys rode up on a motorcycle, and the guy on the back pointed a pistol at me at 5 o'clock in the morning. I was walking to catch a bus to go to temporary service I was working for. And at the last minute, I turned sideways, and he pulled the trigger. The bullet went in here, and it came out here luckily. And I knew God was with me then, because I was still alive, right. And I was laying on the sidewalk bleeding. But luckily, there was a fire station right there. And I finally got up and made it to the fire station. They rushed me to Vanderbilt, and I had lost 2 pints of blood. I barely made it. So I knew God was with me then.
Bleeding out.
Right. So I survived that, got out, kept drinking. That was my drug of choice, was drinking. And like I said, just one thing after another, I kept increasing my alcohol consumption. And well, this past January 2020, I was walking by Nissan Stadium about 11:30 at night, crossing the road right there. The lady came over the hill, and I saw her. I thought she was going to stop. It was a red light, but she ran through it, and I tried to jump out of the way. She hit me in my left leg, and I flipped over the car, landed on my face, and I don't remember none of it. Just I remember her hitting me, but after that, I woke up in Vanderbilt
Right.
with 4 broken ribs, a cracked vertebrae, and my leg broken in 2 places. We had to put a steel rod in it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, brother, do you understand? God has a plan for your life.
Yes, sir. I believe that with all my heart.
Have you decided that you want to get on his team and work for him now?
Yes, sir. That was the last, straw on the camel's back in my life. I mean,
You like a cat, you got 9 lives.
I hope so.
Man, let's don't test no more.
No, sir. I'm trying to walk straight and narrow.
So how did you get to mountain movers from all that?
Okay, I went to Vanderbilt. I didn't have any, I was homeless. I was sleeping under a bridge close to Nissan Stadium for the last 3 or 4 months. So when I got out of Vanderbilt, they had a program called Biblical Concepts in Gallatin.
Okay.
They help people that are homeless. And you can stay for 60 days out there. They got 6 houses with 10 men in each house. And it's a program where it's for people recuperating from injuries. So I stayed out there 2 months. My 60 days were up, and they referred me to mountain movers. So I was unable to work. So it's really a great program out there. Met some nice people.
Yeah, it's amazing. I went to a similar program, the Team Challenge, and it was an all men's, program. And it's just amazing that the brotherhood that you build. Man, I tell people all the time. We used to say it in the biker world that family don't necessarily mean blood. And when you're going through brokenness, I'm talking true brokenness, and you know what I'm talking about. And you got other people around you that's going through the same brokenness, and you're in there encouraging each other and lifting each other up. Because one day you're going to have a bad day, and they're going to be on a good day. Yes, and they can encourage you. And one day you're going to have a good day, they got a bad day, and you're encouraging them. And it's just that atmosphere. And then there's some days you both have bad days, and there ain't nothing good happens that day. It is what it is. I got some friends right now, and their house was damaged, and they've been stuck in a motel for about 9 months, and now they're on this lockdown. And he's like, it's like being in prison. I said, you ever been in prison? He said, no. I said, no, it ain't either. I said, that motel room's a lot bigger than a prison cell, let me tell you. And you get to choose who you with.
Right.
Sometimes you get put in there and you don't get to choose who you with, and that ain't a fun thing. It's great that you have found this.
Yes, sir.
And I know they're going to keep encouraging you. And we got some great classes down there, great programs down there to keep you in the Word. And guys, I'm going to tell y'all, the only way you're going to stay on this path is learning the Word of God.
Yes, sir.
It is an instruction manual. And, you're like the 4th person I've talked to, 3rd, 4th, grew up in church. I was the same way. I grew up in church.
Yes.
But I kept running from the church. And I tell people in my testimony, I feel like I was a yo-yo. I would run from the church because somebody in the church would hurt my feelings, and they ain't no hurt like church hurt. And then God would yank on the string and pull me back to church. I'd go back to church, and somebody else didn't like the way I was living my life, and they wanted to judge me, and they'd throw me back out, and I'd sit out there and spin a little while, and then God would yank me. And my whole life was back and forth. And it wasn't until I got into the ministry, the Teen Challenge, and the whole empire around the ministry collapsed. People I had really put on a pedestal and had a lot of faith in that were strong men of God. And when I saw the way they reacted to a situation, I said, man, if that's being a man of God, I don't want nothing of it. They were all hypocrites. And so not only did I run from the church, I ran from God too.
I did too.
But it's just like we said, you about the third one today. Grew up in the church, and the saying is in the Bible, if we raise our children in the Word of God, they will return.
Yes.
And I'm sure right now you're having some flashbacks to some of the church services as a kid.
Yes, sir.
Some of the things your mom and daddy taught you.
Oh, yeah.
And you're going, man, they get smarter every day.
That's right.
My daddy gets smarter every day, and he's been dead for years.
Right.
So, you got any plans for when you get out, or you just doing one day at a time? Or?
Well, I'm mainly trying to get my leg recuperated. They got, work therapy out there, and they had a bunch of lumber need nails pulled out, so I was using a walker. That's how God's helped me so much. I got off the walker the past week or two, so they gave me a pretty easy job just pulling nails out of an old barn that blew down.
Right.
And it's given me, more hope and that my leg's gonna get better, and it's getting better every day,
Probably good physical therapy too.
That's right, yeah.
That's
Instead
good.
of laying up and hoping it'll get well, I gotta get up and move around.
Right.
It's not gonna heal itself.
No, best thing you can do is get on and get to working.
Right.
And they do. Guys, our mountain movers, they got all kind of stuff they're doing. They have a truck wash going on down there. They make things and sell them. They have a woodworking shop, and they just all the time coming up with new ways to bring in income, because they got to have income to be able to put a house, feed these guys, cook, do all the things they got to do. And that's why we try to help as much as we can with what we can, bringing food and stuff down there. And we've supplied a lot of sheets and pillowcases and clothes and beds and whatever else we can, because it is kind of my heart.
Yes, sir.
Teen Challenge, although it collapsed, it was what turned my life around.
Right.
And you'll never forget these guys you're in this program with, ever.
Right.
They're going to be ones that touch your heart in ways you can't imagine.
Yes.
But, brother, if you don't know God's got you by now,
I know.
you never will.
Yeah. I'm just proud and thankful that I knew him so long, but I just turned my back on him. For some reason, I was such a selfish person, you know what I mean? All I cared about was drinking. That's the main objective every day, was when I get off work, I'm gonna get drunk, so.
How long you been clean?
Well, got out, I guess, when I got out, right before I went in this thing right here, January the 10th, I guess I was drinking then.
Okay, so
This happened January 11th, so almost 3 months.
3 months.
Yeah.
All right. Has God just taken the taste away from you, or are you still
I
fighting?
still got a desire for it, but I pray about it every day. I mean, I don't have that strong a desire when I was drinking every day, because, the liquor store was right around the corner from where I was sleeping under the bridge, and I would make somebody kind of panhandle or whatever I had to do, drink straight vodka. So it just wouldn't take that much to get a couple of pints,
Brother, when you get that urge,
Yeah.
we have a saying: if we talk it out, we don't act it out.
That's right.
You run straight to one of the guys there in the program, one of the leaders, and you tell them, man, I'm going through a hard time. Would you pray with me?
Right.
And let them pray with you and over you.
Right.
Well, brother, it's been great hearing your story. Man, I keep telling people, I said it in the beginning, I'll say it again. Guys, it's never too late to turn your life around. And you've never done nothing so bad, and that's the problem I fight with, because I've done some pretty bad stuff in my life. But you've never done nothing so bad that God can't turn it around and use it for His glory. It has to go. We have to give Him the glory
Amen.
for everything that's happened in our lives. Well, man, I appreciate you being on here. I'm glad you're in the program. Guys, y'all pray for Donald that this is done. God's going to just He's going to take the taste out of his mouth, that he's not ever going to want it again. And he's going to realize when he reaches for it, how bad it ain't nothing but the devil in the bottle. And it is to do nothing but destroy your life. And you got to keep that mindset every time you reach for it, where I've come from and where I am now. And I don't want to go back. And another thing, you accepted Christ now.
Yes, sir.
He lives within you, right?
Yes, sir.
Every time that bottle goes to your lips, it goes to his.
Yes.
Would you pour liquor down Jesus' mouth?
No, sir.
Then don't pour it down yours, because he's abiding in you and living in you now.
Yes, sir.
All right?
Yes, sir.
Think of it that way.
I will.
All right. Hey, guys, like always, don't forget our website. And don't forget that we do need financial support to be able to do the things we do with the prison ministry, the homeless ministry, the mountain movers, the life changers, all this. We really need your help. And so you can visit the website at www.soulrevivalbikerchurch.com, and you can add a /give to that, and it'll take you right to our donate button. That is www.soulrevivalbikerchurch.com /give. If y'all would please help us with whatever you can, we'd appreciate it. And like I said, we're glad to have the Tuesday testimonials back up and rolling again. I know a lot of y'all been missing them. You've been writing me and asking me to get it going again. So we want to try to give y'all what you're asking for. Now, before I go, remember, I love you. God loves you. Nothing you can do about it. Peace out.